about the new moon in Leo. I had to catch myself because I've been making a bunch of these videos. I kind of fell behind at the beginning of the month recording videos because I was in a transitional space. My family moved to a new apartment, and with that happening, like, I just recorded the transits, took my notes as usual, and I was like, I'll come on here and do the videos. Those videos are now done because I've been going live all day. Woohoo! And they're uploading. So that's kind of what it's taking a minute if you haven't seen them come up yet. But if you're here and you're tuned in, then great, because this is a great video for you if you want to be prepared for today's new moon. So today we have a new moon in Leo, and new moon in Leo is all about new beginnings, but also Leo is about the self and identity. And with that, it's really kind of like a major new moon because we also have the Lionsgate portal coming up, and it's also a new moon that's at the beginning of Mercury retrograde. So although it's a new moon and we're going to be talking about lots of new beginnings, with retrograde season, always be prepared for things like communication to be off or misunderstandings to happen, but also it's a time of reassessing things. So reassessment, all the re's, reassessment, reviewing, renewing, that is the energy of the new moon. What is also ironic is I just told you guys about my troubles with uploading. I also don't have my Wi-Fi fully set up, so I've been working off of cellular data. So bear with me if the quality of this video isn't as great. Also, if the quality of the videos that I'm uploading, which is the new moon in Cancer that happened on July 6th, and the full moon in Capricorn that happened on July 21st, if those videos finally upload and they don't look too hot, know that they're timeless videos and they're full of potent information. They just might not be the best quality. So, all right, just like those videos, this video is a timeless reading for the new moon in Leo. All right, so as always, I have my notes with me because I am, I don't know, neurospicy. And with that, it just really helps me, especially with covering tons of information, because human design is a very complex system, as well as astrology and the transits and the I Ching. So it just really helps me to cover this information and have my notes with me to make sure that I'm giving you the most accurate data as possible. So we have a Mercury retrograde happening today, and I covered the transit a little bit of what that experience is like, but also I would love for you to comment below and share with me how you're experiencing this new moon in Leo, and also how do you feel like Mercury retrograde is affecting that. All right, so I'm going to give my little spiel about who I am and what I do. So my name is Nicole Ballantyne. I'm a wellness entrepreneur, mom, human design reader, and so much more. I'm also a projector aura type. So if you really love human design information from a projector, I highly recommend you subscribe to my channel. I'm also a self-projector. So if you are a self-projector, which about 2.6% of humans are, then I would love to be connected with you because we are naturally on the same fractal, and I would love to hear more about your experience being a human designed self-projector, and specifically if you're a 3-5, even better. All right. So with all that being said, I'll give you guys also a little spiel on how I go about doing these readings. So my new moon and full moon readings, I cover the transits by speaking through it with the human design gates, what gate is transiting our conscious sun and earth, as well as sharing with you guys self-care prompts, writing prompts. I give you guys an overall energy reading for the new moon and full moons. I also give you guys some mantras because usually I try to encapsulate the energy of the transit with like a few phrases or maybe a buzzword that I'm drawn to in the moment that I feel like reflects the energy in the collective. All right, so for this new moon, the mantra is Nunu. Like Nunu, like the girl from ATL, like Lauren London Nunu. because we come in with the new. The energy feels very vibrant. It feels very much that many of us are discovering more depth within our personalities and our identities, and standing in our power and showing up in that way. And I think that is so beautiful, especially for the middle of the summer. We got peak summer energy happening, a lot of heat, a lot of fieriness, a lot of passion, and all of those energies are definitely seen here in this new moon. We also have, for the imagery, nurturing and horses, because the horse archetype is the animal totem of the 19th gate in human design, which is the gate of sensitivity, also called approach in the I Ching. So when you're thinking of this energy, I'm going to be doing my graphics for my Instagram that I usually do for these posts. Usually the graphics come before the video. Today you guys are getting the video before the graphics. So feel free to follow my Instagram. My Instagram is at withlovecole, so it's the same handle as it is here on YouTube. I try to stay consistent around all platforms with the same handle, just keeping it easy for you guys. And the imagery is going to be nurturing, feeding, and horses. So look out for that. I get really intricate on my posts. And it's basically what you see on my Instagram when I cover the transits. I do a visual version of these live streams and these readings. The next mantra for this new moon in Leo is go where you are loved. And go where you are loved is just a reminder of your own sensitivities and your own desires and things that you need. The new moon in Leo is happening, if I'm correct, in the 12th degree, and the 12th degree, as it falls along the lines of the zodiac, is a Pisces degree. And Pisces are dreaming, they're thinking about what they want to see. They can be a bit idealistic. They also can be a bit of escapist. So this full moon may be having us reflect on things that we want to escape from, or bring up situations that we may want to act in that way of being escapist, or it just brings up the themes and kind of reminds us like how we can move about this energy in a new way, in a better way, that can help us rebirth ourselves and come, into the world in a more like kind of merging the physical with the spiritual. Like, because of the fact that Leo and Pisces oppose each other, we have the dreaminess of the Piscean energy, but then we also have the practicality and the action orientedness of Leo, because Leo is ruled by the lion, and the lion is the ruler of the jungle. So being the king of your world is really the theme this month. So a quote I have that I'll dive deeper into for the new moon in Leo is a quote from Lao Tzu, and it's from the Tao Te Ching, which is, a version of yes, it's from the Tao Te Ching. I'll leave it at that. I was about to say something all the way wrong. So the quote is, "The very softest thing of all can ride like a galloping horse through the hardest of things." And I'm going to go back to this quote because I also have some other versions of this quote, because there's so many versions of the Tao Te Ching. That particular quote is from the 2003 edition, the illustrated edition of the Tao Te Ching. So if you ever want to read the Tao Te Ching, I highly recommend it. If I can, I'll try to remember at the end of this live to link it below, because it's just such a powerful book and filled with so much wisdom on how we can move through life and move with the cycles of life. So now let's hop into some new moon in Leo themes. So here are some themes: upleveling, truths. Some truths or revelations may come to light. Revelation is the city, which is the highest frequency of the 33rd gate or hexagram. Hexagram is the term used in the I Ching for the human design gates, or I should say vice versa, because the I Ching definitely came before human design. But just so you know, if you guys ever hear me on these lives use the term human design gate versus hexagram versus gene key, I'm talking about the same 64 I Ching hexagrams. Another theme is portals, because you might be leaping into a new energy, having a new start. For me, I'm going to be a little personal here. in my relationship, my partner and I had such a wonderful conversation today that just felt like a portal going into a new version of our relationship and a stronger, better foundation, and understanding the need to allow each other to stand up in our kingdom and queendom, you know, our king and queen energy, and trusting that we both can be our best and highest selves and also be partners and also keep each other in mind. I'm sorry if you hear sirens and things like that. I live on a busy street now, and you know, what I do love about that is the movement of energy and the air and the wind, but I don't necessarily love the noise. But I'm adjusting. I'm trying to be like a horse, moving with the energy around me and galloping through the hardest of things. So, another element of this is breakdowns, because oftentimes before you get to points of truth and revelation, you have breakdowns. And we went through a breakdown of communication. And also, I'll bring up the fact that we see in social media right now between Cardi B and Offset going through a divorce. I think Big Sean just went on an interview and spoke about his relationship with Janae Aiko. We see that a lot of relationships are kind of coming to a time of breakdown and reconsiderations and re-examining what works best for the people involved. And I think sometimes when we see these conversations happening in social media, it can be triggering, especially when you're in a relationship and might be going through similar energies and aspects. It can be very triggering, but here's the reminder that you do not have to be involved in these conversations, and allow these conversations to be a bit of a portal to opening up what you and your partner truly desire, instead of allowing the conversations to make you feel like you have to go back to the past or judge your relationship or question the things that you know may be true. Next is timeline jumping, and that kind of goes along with portals, but timeline jumping, I'm going to speak briefly on the fact that just this morning I took a really nice hike to one of my favorite spots to go hike, and I got to see horses there, which was really beautiful. You can check out the short I posted today on that on my YouTube shorts, which was me taking a hike, and it just fell perfectly in line with the energy of gate 33 being in our conscious sun and gate 19 being in our conscious earth, because I got to see horses and I got to be in a space of mindfulness and reflection, because I took time for myself doing something I hadn't actually done in a really long time. The last time I did that hike was about 2.5, actually longer than that, probably 3.5 years ago when I was pregnant. And that is because it's really hard to do a really steep hike and a really long hike when you are pregnant or postpartum. So it was really nice to kind of just be in a new energy, doing something I've always loved and getting back to it once again and revisiting a place that I once was. And gate 33, the gate of retreat, was just a perfect reflection of that energy. So other themes we have going is the theme of action, being active, being swift, partnership, warrior energy, and magnetism, because we know Leo energy is very magnetic. I talked about this in another video, and it's probably because I just saw it today, but Jackie Aina, her birthday is around this time, if not today, and she posted a very magnetic picture on her feed of her and on top of a birthday cake. The cake is white, she's in silver, and just it has stars on her boobs. Like, she just looked so amazing, and it's just a perfect reminder of what it is to be a Leo and what it is to, you know, be in Leo energy. Showing up fully as yourself, loving on yourself, and being so confident that you allow people to extend that love to you as well. All right, so that was a mouthful. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to kind of think about some of the topics I said. You can hop into the comments right now and tell me a little bit about your experience traveling through this energy. And also remember, this video is timeless. So even though you may not be going through this video at the time I'm posting it, know that the energy is still relevant to you because you are tapped into the same Akashic field in the same moment. So it's really, really cool. We're like in different times, but we're in the same time. You feel me? All right, so since I said a mouthful, I'm gonna give you guys the writing prompts first so that you can think about these writing prompts as I talk about the human design gates and talk a little bit more about Lao Tzu's quote. So here are some things to think about during this new moon in Leo, which is happening today and whenever you see this video. So one writing prompt is, am I where I am valued? Okay, that sounds weird. Am I where am I'm valued? Are you where you're valued? I think I'll put it like that. Are you where you are valued? And that is something to consider because environment, especially in human design, especially if you're over the age of 30, plays a major role in your life expectancy, your overall well-being, and also the interferences, the karmic interactions you may have, which means the people you may come across in your life, because all of these things affect our genes. And we know that our genes are something that can be transcended, but our genes are also something that can be impacted when we are not in the right environment or around the right people. So consider that. Wherever you are you valued there? Next to consider is, who can I have a heart to heart with? Leo rules the heart, the zodiac sign Leo. So consider your heart this month and how you feel this month, okay? And also, if you're open to having some heart-to-heart conversations, how would those conversations be? Ironically, I had a deep heart-to-heart conversation with my cousin who is a Leo, and her birthday's coming up on the 11th. So quick shout out to Demia. Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful conversation I had with her. And also it was a reminder that you can let your guard down sometimes and talk to people who are close to you, because there's so much wisdom. And also, because Leo can have a childlike energy and my cousin is younger than me, I'll say talk to someone maybe who is younger than you, who can provide you with some wisdom or some guidance. And I think oftentimes we can not necessarily view someone younger as wiser, but I think that when you open your mind and open your heart to that, you can gain so much information and knowledge from someone who is younger than you. And also more connected. Like, she is Gen Z, and sometimes she's able to give me such great advice on social media, and she's also a projector. So talking to another projector may be a great heart-opening experience for you this month. All right, next writing prompt. Are my actions in line with my values? So, because Leo rules values and Leo is lion, actions know when to retreat. They also know when to move. Lions actually sleep about 22 hours a day, and they basically do all that hunting and killing that they do in 2 hours. So it shows that you can be well rested, but also very productive this month if you learn how to work with your energy. And if you are a projector watching this video, it is very, very good for you to study the lion archetype as well as the horse. Those are the two animals I'll be talking about, because lions in particular know that they need more rest than actual work. Projectors are masters at building out systems, and we're able to get a lot of work done in a very, very short time. This is an Easter egg for projector content creators. If you ever want to understand how to create content quickly, you can, I'm not going to tell you where because I want you to find this video, and I also want to see if the algorithm draws you to it. I have a video on my channel how you can be a spiritual creator and create content quickly but also efficiently. And part of that is going to be batch creation. I also give some other really good tips that can help you learn how to work with your projector energy and create and work hard but play harder. You feel me? Because that's what this life is about, and that's kind of what I want to be able to show as well as experience in my life, that you can do things you love, you can practice ikigai, and create the life of your dreams, make money, take care of your family, help people that you love, and also live a very, very fun-filled life. All right, and lastly, am I honoring myself and my commitments? because part of the archetype of the lion is being honorable, is being the king of the jungle, is being the queen. And when we are, well, or the jungle or the desert, I don't know. Yeah, bear with me on that. This is not Nat Geo, but yes, lions are very connected to the energy of honor and to the energy of courage and bravery. So, where are you honoring commitments, and where can you honor your commitments more? Which is, honor has to do with presence, because when you dishonor something, you're not present with it. So, how can you be more present? I will also be vulnerable here. When I was going through a really hard time postpartum, I needed to regulate my nervous system, and I would often take cannabis breaks. And a lot of times I would take those breaks because that was the time when I had a moment to myself, and it was a time I would take the break to regulate my nervous system so that I can record videos. And although it helped me a lot during that time, I also felt like in some ways I wasn't showing up fully present for you guys, because I can't even say I wasn't. I just feel like I know there's a difference, right? I'm definitely more animated and stuff when I haven't necessarily partaken in cannabis before filming. But I also knew that I wanted to show up authentically, and it's a part of my life. So, in both ways, I still kind of honored myself, but now I also want to honor my commitment, which is being here with you guys. So next is, so think about that. I know that right now there are way more users of cannabis in the United States. I think it's like 1 in 20 people smoke daily, or something like that is the number. So just really consider that time and place, and also like, does it allow you to be more present? And if it does, great. But also, if you find that you maybe are intaking too much, maybe you can lower your intake so that you can find that like homeostasis for you. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's a personal journey, so I don't want to give too much information, but I just also want to, speak on it, because clearly it's something that's very, very prevalent in our culture right now. All right, so now that we've talked about some writing prompts, I am going to, speak on a little Easter egg. So for this new moon in Leo, I have an Easter egg for moms specifically on 2 things you can do to help honor your commitment to taking care of your child and preparing your child for a better world, better life, and also just for life in this world as it currently is. And one, I'm a breastfeeding mom, so part of it is I wanted to share with you guys a book on weaning, which isn't in the description but will be by the time you see this video. So it's a book on weaning, and it teaches, it helps children gently wean so they can honor the commitment of nurturing and feeding your child, but also honoring the journey of their maturation and growing up in this world. And the book is called Booby Moon. It's on Amazon. I will link it. I'll probably add it in my mom Amazon shop so you can see it in my Amazon shop, but I'll probably also put the direct link here below. And it's called Booby Moon, and you basically like read this book to your child, and then you can tell your child like the milk is going back to the moon. And it's funny because when I mentioned it to my mom, she was like, is your milk going back to the moon? And I was like, listen, technically we live in a Milky Way galaxy, and we are made of water, and milk is nature's nurturing. It's our natural water or liquid. So view it as that. Like, I do think there is some truth to our milk does go dry up and go back to the moon. So yeah, with that connection, I wanted to mention it because I think during Leo season, it's a great way to wean our kids, but also it gives them a little more empowerment where they're making the choice to let go, as opposed to a lot of things that, or practices that we use to wean our children, which could be putting things that are distasteful on our bodies. I feel like that kind of dishonors the child, because like now you're like making the child think something that's supposed to be loving and nurturing is disgusting. Also, I think I heard another mom, I saw it recently on TikTok. She basically told her kid that when they got sick recently, she was like, oh, you got sick because the milk is bad. And I get it, because sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But I feel like this is a gentler way of being able to wean. So I'm definitely going to put that book down there. And I wrote specifically, Leo is about self and also identity. And these books are perfect for the toddler stage and helping littles come into their identity as kids and children and moving from the baby stage. The next Easter egg for moms here in this video, I'm going to talk about a book on body safety. This book has been going viral on TikTok Shop. It also is written by a mom who is a Black woman. So, you know, we always want to support Black business, but I also love supporting moms. And it is teaching, it's a four-part book, like a book compilation, talking so much. It's a book compilation, a book series that really helps moms teach their children body safety and consent. And as they're coming into their identity, they may have to unfortunately learn that the world has dangers, and we need to help them protect their bodies and themselves from these dangers. And for me as a mom, this is a sensitive issue because I have some trauma in my life that goes back to sexual assault, sexual abuse, trigger warning, and I felt like it was really, really important to, one, work through that within my own psyche and subconscious, but to be empowered enough to help teach my daughter, because the only thing that is going to help is awareness, and being dismissive or avoidant of my fears isn't going to help prepare her for life. So you will see those two books added to the description. I also might put it in the comments because I just wanted to be able to help moms out there. All right, so now let's hop back. I guess because I just mentioned some extreme topics, before I talk about the human design gates, I'll probably end with the human design gates for this video. I'm going to talk about some self-care that you can do for today's new moon in Leo. So here's some self-care. Read a self-development book. Actually, since this video I've been talking a lot about parents and how parents can help themselves, I am also going to show you this book that I'm looking at, a few books that are self-development books, but also books to help you be a great parent. This book is called The Conscious Parent, and it says Transforming Ourselves and Empowering Our Children. It's by Shefali Tisbari, who's a PhD, who has a PhD, and the preface is by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Also, Eckhart Tolle commented on this book. So this is the book, The Conscious Parent. It was gifted to me when my daughter was born, and as you can see, it's hella new. I will definitely be reading this and taking my own advice. So The Conscious Parent, I will make sure to add it for you guys. The other book is Your Child's Self-Esteem. And this book says step-by-step guidelines for raising responsible, productive, and happy children. And this book, I'm covering it because the picture, the child is, you know. So this book, Your Child's Self-Esteem, this book is funny because I actually bought it before I had a child. I just saw it, and I actually got it from a church that was doing a book drive and selling these books for $1. And I was volunteering that day, helping actually I was working that day, but I helped volunteer a little bit to kind of organize the books and stuff for them, as they had kind of like a thrift area with a bunch of different items. And I saw it and I was like, this is really important for me to know. I just intuitively grabbed it. So this book, Your Child's Self-Esteem, also great for parents. All right, so now let's hop into some more self-care. Work on a creative project. For many, a creative project could be content creation, just because so many people who now use social media have become content creators, because it's a beautiful way to easily express ourselves and take advantage of the technology that we have in this day and age. So yes, do some content creation, post the stuff in your drafts. I also have a video on why you should start a YouTube channel. Feel free to check that video out. There's just so many good resources out here, as well as trusting yourself, going inward and seeing what you want to create and do this month, and then making it happen. Next is have a therapy session. So this month I have been in couples therapy with my partner, but this month in particular, we both have decided it would be really good to go back to individual therapy. And I think that since it's Leo season, it's also a new moon in Leo, it may be great for you to consider going back to individual therapy or have an individual therapist. I think there's a stigma, especially within the Black community, about therapy, that if you go to therapy, you might be crazy or mentally unwell. And it has come to be seen that therapy is actually very, very helpful. And a lot of what therapy does is help us work through our subconscious fears, as well as just have better and more optimal mental health. And having mental health struggles is normal. Everyone who lives on this planet goes through some type of psychological issue, and we have different seasons in our lives, and some seasons you may need a therapist. Honor that, trust that, and take that step if necessary. And if BetterHelp wants to sponsor me, I'm here. All right. So next is start a new workout plan. As I told you guys, I took a really amazing hike. I also have been able to get back in the hot yoga room in the past few months, and it's just been really nice to just prioritize strengthening my body again and just building muscle and strengthening my core specifically, because our power comes literally from our core, and being able to have a strong core, we can really move through life a lot easier, get a lot more done, and like our sacral holds so much strength, we want it to be strong. All right, so with all that being said, now let's hop into Human Design Gate 33, the Gate of Retreat, also called Withdrawal in the I Ching. So here I wrote for this gate, even the warrior knows when it's time to retreat. Taking time away from life can be the recalibration you need this month. The shadow of the 33rd hexagram, known as withdrawal in the I Ching, is forgetting. When we take time to clear old memories and reprogram our minds, we allow for new revelations to appear. The act of meditation helps us to momentarily forget, and when we do this and turn inward for introspection, we can create a new framework for our life and renew our spirit. This month, allow mindfulness practices to be at the forefront of your day, giving you awareness to master new challenges and prepare for incoming opportunities. So this morning when I woke up, me and my partner had a great conversation this morning, but I also woke up not in the greatest mood because of the conversation we had last night. And I was just like, I need to go on a hike. I need to get in nature. I need to travel. My physical body needs movement. And I am so, so happy I did that, because I was able to get back to something I hadn't done in a long time. I was able to also strengthen my core and feel really good. And then also life left its surprises for me and its own moments of, what's that word? Not synchronicity, but moments of just beauty. Simply, life left for me on the path there and back. So it was just really, really nice. And whether it's retreating, taking time for yourself, doing a Vipassana, maybe like a 7-day silent retreat, all of these things are great ways to clear old DNA, old karmic energies and memories, transmute it, and find the clarity and revelation you're meant to find at the end of it. All right, so now that we've covered Gate 33, and I talked a lot about the lion, which is the archetype of the 33rd hexagram, let's talk a little bit about Gate 19, the Gate of Sensitivity, which is funny because my dog is like sniffling, and sensitivity is definitely related to animals, and specifically the horse. So here's what I wrote for Gate 19, the Gate of Sensitivity. The increase in human sensitivity post-pandemic is a sign of more time in fractals of like-minded people and less energy spent chasing the wind. And sometimes when you get so used to what's comfortable to you, it can feel very like, you could feel startled when you have to deal with energies that you're not accustomed to anymore. And that is kind of like why I think of the horse, because the horse, why is my dog scratching so much? because the horse is similar. A horse gets startled very easily because it is very sensitive and it has to be very aware to its environment and attuned to the environment's needs. So I wrote, horses move with nature and are great at attuning to the needs of the moment. The beauty of sensitivity is its ability to help us find our tribe, feel empathy for others, and protect us from impending dangers. A great quote for this gait about its animal totem is the horse comes from Lao Tzu. And this is from the Tao Te Ching. And I said it at the beginning. And I'm going to read the whole quote for you guys. The whole quote is, the very softest thing of all can ride like a galloping horse through the hardest of things. Like water penetrating rock, and so the invisible enters in. That is why I know it is wise to act by doing nothing, and how very few understand that. From the Illustrated Tao Te Ching in 2003. I think that is such a beautiful quote. And anytime you feel like you need to do more, it's a reminder that you can still receive a lot of wisdom, a lot of clarity, and a lot of forward movement, even in non-action. With that quote, I wanted to read a few other versions I found online of it that I thought were powerful. This one comes from Terabes Hugh. Is that it? No, not here. Sorry. So I'm going to read from egreenway.com a few other versions of this quote that they have. And here are they. Here they are. So one says, seeing how things are, what is easy will overpass the heavy. That has not come yet will replace that it is now. Non-action is thus superior to the action. Very few in the world can instruct without words. This is the way of the wise person. And that is translated by Sabator in chapter 43. And I love that part that says, very few in the world can instruct without words, because if you read the Gene Key, so if you read the book The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, I have it in my Amazon shop. For the 33rd Gene Key, he mentions for the city frequency of this Gene Key, yes, for 33rd Gene Key, even though I'm talking about gate 19 right now, he mentions for us to have revelation and be also in the gift frequency of mindfulness, we see that people who bring the energy or the city frequency of revelation into the world, they know how to actually say less and do less, but be powerful as they move through the world, because they're operating from this new framework that after they've gone through a period of mindfulness and deep clarity. Another version of this quote from this website is, the soft things of the world can overcome the hard ones. Those that have no substance can penetrate the solid. Therefore, I know non-action wins success. Teaching without words, succeeding without action, these are understood by the very few. And since we are in the sixth, and that is translated by Agnieszka Solska, 2005, chapter 43. So this is all from the same chapter in the I Ching. It's just a few different quotes. And then I'll give a quote from someone who is Asian for the sake of, honoring the energy of the Tao Te Ching. It says, that which is softest in the world overrides that which is the hardest in the world. Only that which has no existence can enter that which has no crevice. Therefore, I know the benefit of non-action. Teaching without words and benefit without action, few in the world attain it. So you see, these are all very similar but very different. And take whatever inflection of it or whichever transmission serves you the best here, because I think they're all very powerful. Yeah, and I will make sure, I think I already said it, egreenway.com. You can feel free to see, there's a few other translations of that text. All right, let me go back to my notes. All right, so with that being said, I feel like I covered pretty much the whole transit, and I hope this energy or this message, this transmission finds you well. I do want to leave you guys with one more Easter egg that's pretty funny and also perfect for Leo season, and also it exists in the context in all in which we live. And it is a video of a guy singing to Kamala Harris. I've already put that video in the description. It's just really funny. He's singing Beyonce to her, and how she responds to it kind of reminds me of that energy of sensitivity, right? Of the horse, right? Kind of being a little startled, but responding correct for the moment, and also acting with non-action. And because gate 19 is called sensitivity in human design, but it's also called the gate of approach, and he approaches her randomly and starts singing this song. And like the horse, she overcomes listening to him sing to her. She also has a lot of fun with it, and then someone laughs and goes, "Who is this guy?" He also sang to Barack Obama, and Barack Obama said to him, "Who is this guy?" So it's just a really funny video, and it's very Gen Z, and I also think it's just a reflection of the beauty of when you are loved and when you go where you're loved, how beautiful it can be when you are approached by someone who sees you, who recognizes you, and wants to praise you. So I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. I hope that you guys decide to watch the previous transit, which was the full moon in Capricorn that happened on July 21st, and the previous new moon, which was the new moon in Cancer that happened before the full moon in Capricorn on July 6th. All of those videos will be up on my channel. Right now, everything is uploading because it is Mercury retrograde, so bear with me. And for the person that is tuned in, that stayed and is watching to the end, we vibe. We're on the same fractal. I hope you are subscribed, and if not, feel free to check out my channel, the stuff I have going on, and I'll see you in my next video.